We're live. Good afternoon, good evening. It is Saturday, June 15th, and we are finally back from hiatus. Obviously, last week we did an impromptu Monday night stream simply because I had the time and I wanted to talk about Go Bag. And we may talk about them again tonight, which is why they're on the topic list for tonight. But of course, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my host, my guest host. Let's go ahead and start with our co-host from, well, I guess she's from nowhere because it doesn't exist, which means she doesn't either. Please say hello, Luna.
Hello, here I am from the resident state of nowhere.
Resident state of nowhere.
Yep. Coming to you live as the bisexual owner of both an AR and an AK.
Oh,
Awesome.
fuck.
While I'm continuing with this, Dale, could you please ping her in this chat once you give her the correct permissions?
Alright, I think she has the correct permissions now.
Okay. From there, we are going to move to our friend from the south, our excuse me, our resident redneck.
Don't die on us.
Yeah, well, it's from eating that spicy buffalo seasoning. So our resident redneck, please say hello, Stoner.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
And then we will go ahead and welcome our resident Serbian from the former Soviet state of Serbia. Please say hello, Mali.
Hello.
And we have a new guest host joining us tonight. She is from my home, well, not from my home state, but she does live in my home state. Please say hello, Albany. Is that?
Hello. Yes.
Hi, Albany. And
You
then
live in
of
upstate New York.
no.
No.
No, you're
I-
thinking
Shut
of Utica.
No, my mom had a dream that she combined my grandmother's names, Alice and Bonnie, and named me Albany. And then she had me and I was a girl and ta-da.
And then, of course, we have our Soviet Kanukistan. Well, he's not Soviet, but he is from the Soviet state of Kanukistan, our resident Kanukistani, Dale. Please say hello, Dale.
Good afternoon and or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm coming to you live once again from the icy wastes of Quebec. And I'd just like to wish everyone, except the ATF, a great day.
Fuck
Well, I
the
could just
ATF.
feel the Stalin propaganda poster fading in with Trudeau's face.
I could see it.
It's like waving in the wind.
Yup.
Okay, so we got some news on Friday, yesterday, really early in the morning, like right before my appointment for the VA. The Bumpstock ban from the ATF got knocked down by the Supreme Court.
Based.
This has been a long time in the works.
Cope and see the grabbers. Cope
Yes,
and
cope
seethe.
and seethe. I need to go ahead and open up my account. And Albany, I'm sorry for not responding to you.
No, you're fine. I figured it out. I did this smart.
Let's see here. I need to find my own profile. And I swear one day I'm gonna get up there and make pizza for y'all.
Ooh, based.
I am so ready. You can come play with my goats.
You have goats?
Oh yes, goats. She's got goats.
Yeah.
Oh, you
What
got
kind of
more
goat?
goats yesterday, didn't you?
Huh?
You
What
got
kind of
more
goat
goats
you got?
yesterday, didn't you?
They are, yeah. So 2 weeks ago, we rescued a 2-week-old. They're half boar, half Sanin, so dairy meat goats. Rescued a little boy who was on death's door, and then
Mhm.
found another one. We got her yesterday morning, so he has a friend now.
Mm.
Hey,
Oh,
you
okay,
planning
so
on like getting goat milk from them or
Yes,
Mm.
I definitely want goat milk, cheese, all of that. We're
fresh feta?
so I was raised in the Midwest. I met my husband when I moved to Colorado. I'll make this very short, but been together for 14 years. He brought me back to the Midwest with our 4 kids. We are very like our kids will never step foot in a government school. We grow 90% of our own food. Um, if we don't kill our own food, we know someone who does. And the only thing we haven't really been able to get is milk because so Iowa actually only recently legalized the sale of raw milk. Like it just happened.
Nice.
So yes, super excited. But it's hard around here to find certain dairy farmers that just have the time to let you come and do it. So I'm like, well, if you process it correctly from your goats, it won't taste like goat. So I'm just gonna get my own goats. Ta-da!
I
I'm
am
not
so
sure
sorry.
around where I live if there's anywhere that sells like raw milk or anything like that, but I know a couple places sell just simply unpasteurized.
The
All
difference
looks
between
good.
unpasteurized and raw.
Um,
Uh,
Basically,
well,
the milk is cooked at a very high temperature to pasteurize it, so it's
Yes,
like doesn't have
raw,
harmful bacteria that can poison you.
allegedly.
well,
Now,
and raw,
It's the
raw,
same
raw
thing.
milk, but raw milk is still going to have bits of the cream from the milking process in it.
very nice. Have you ever thought about just
Unpasteurized is
getting
the
your
good
own cow as well for cow milk?
someday.
Someday.
We don't actually, so we like to joke, so we own the most expensive house on our street and we are absolutely white trash. We only could afford the house we bought because we bought our first house when we were 20 and then sold it so we could afford this. Um Everyone thought like we must be really high class. We're freaking not. I got a goat pen in my backyard. I got German shepherds barking at people. I dug up half the beautiful, wonderful landscaped yard to put in a garden. My husband's outside welding a massive smoker. Like,
Very nice.
Awesome.
I
Very
wish I
Sounds like
had
a
friggin'
that
life.
awesome.
farm.
Listen, that's not white trash. That's called being resourceful.
Mhm.
I like a little bit
Amen.
of both.
Yes.
Having a nice house and living well within your means.
May I
Yeah.
ask the new lady a quick question?
Please.
Do you have any Nubian goats?
We thought that these ones were Nubian, but they are not. But they are really good goats to get.
I've heard that Nubian someone get. And
Yeah,
they're
they're
also
great
so
goats.
cute with their long
Yeah.
floppy ears. They're just so head patable.
No. You said that basically the only
I will
thing
be
that
right back.
you said like the only thing you're not able to do right now is milk or like that. So you have chicken coops or
So yeah, our friends, because we're not technically allowed to have farm animals in town, but it does not stop me nor anyone else. Uh,
yeah.
so our friends about 8 minutes down the road lets us use their massive farm that they don't go to anymore. So yeah, I've got like 45 chickens. I'm hatching 10 more guineas, ducks,
Cat
Ducks.
chickens.
every kind.
Got any Rhode Island Reds?
I do. I have everything from a Rhode Island Red to an I am Samani, that pitch
What about
black, Oregon black.
Domineckers?
What is it?
Domineckers.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
They're black and white chickens.
I don't think I have any black and white. No. I've got Turkins and right now I'm currently doing because I have 6 roosters and like 40 girls and they're all different breeds. I just went and collected 10 eggs and I'm like, let's see what we're going to hatch. So currently I'm hatching really funky looking chickens and I love it.
Oh, you got any bannies?
I don't have any bantams, no. Or I think I have crosses, but no pures.
Those banty chickens are so cute because they're so little.
Oh, fluffy.
How many of those chickens are you raising for meat, and how many are just like egg-laying chickens?
All of them are egg layers right now. We already butchered our meat birds beginning of the year because we only raise ours for about 10 weeks and then they're big enough.
Oh.
There's a chance next year I cycle through and butcher a couple of the roos and maybe some of the hens, just depending. But normally I separate because we get about 2 dozen eggs a day and I give them away to people in town. I use them to barter.
So
You ever thought
in
about
general,
turning any of your roosters into capons?
The capon? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
A capon is a rooster that lost its parts to make it a rooster. Basically, like
Oh,
the
no, I would
difference
never.
between
Why would you do that?
yeah, why would you?
So, do you basically mean to neuter?
yeah.
Is that what
Yeah,
I'm
you take
so
you take a rooster, you neuter it. That's a capon.
Why would you neuter a rooster?
I've looked into
Like,
that and
from my
it
from my
seems horrible.
from my understanding, capon meat is supposed to be a little bit more tender and have a different flavor from a hen.
Hmm.
I don't know. I've seen videos and everything I've looked up with it for whatever reason because so their testes are inside their body and it's not like a
Ugh.
dog or a goat and it basically creates excrucial pain for life for however they live. So I'm like to me if I want
Ooh,
that flavor I'll get a meat bird.
I did
I
not
couldn't do
know
that.
that. I did not know that.
Oh, I
I've
didn't until I looked it up either, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds
Learn
like
something
as
new every day.
like kind of like inhumane of a process as like declawing a cat.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, that reminds me. Your roosters, do they still have their spurs on them?
Yep, I do not believe in despurring. I mean, I totally understand if people like, clip the tips for their own personal safety. I raise all my birds from day one. I can go pick up every one of my roosters. They have lived together since day one. My boys are bros before hoes. I have pictures of them snuggling all up together and like, fuck off, bitch. Oh, sorry. Can we swear on
Aw.
here?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
That's because I know some
Okay.
roosters can get a little territorial.
Some definitely can. I have a head rooster. My Bard Rock is my head rooster. His name is Biggie Smalls, and he would fight a bear for any of his girls. I love him. He will live as long as he can live.
Hmm.
Wait,
Yeah,
I
don't
remember,
underestimate a rooster. Those things will tear you up.
I remember back when I was in my senior year of high school, my parents had chickens. Remember all but one of them, the rooster was able to protect all but one of them from a coyote attack because we lived out in the middle, like surrounded by cow farms. And like every night you could hear
Boy.
them off in the distance. But I remember they were out of town one day, go outside after hearing like a scuffle, nothing else but just a mangled up, like one that just looked really bad.
That's a good rooster, though. That's a good boy. Oh,
I
I
do
love my
believe it's
roost. I
swarming
have.
outside.
I mean, I say that, but it might not have been as good of a rooster. Because all the other chickens were picking on that one hen, so it may have just been a case of like they used it like a sacrificial lamb.
They definitely could. I mean,
Mm.
chickens will absolutely do that. The girls and the boys have their own pecking order, and it's unfortunate, but it's animal kingdom.
I guess that does give a bit new meaning to the word pecking order, huh?
Giggity.
All right.
All right. Giggity. Okay.
So
Funny
wait,
reason we
barter
started.
You have to
bartering
excuse
is
that.
still a thing?
We live in small town Iowa. There's less than 2,500 people here within like whatever it is. It takes us an hour if we want to go to any city. I wish the town was smaller, but yeah, here a lot of people barter. A lot of people have gardens or do things like
Heck,
um
I live in Ohio. You go out, like out towards the country areas. You find people that have something. You have something they need. You can absolutely just barter for stuff.
I
Because I mean,
wish we got back to that more often. Hell, I bartered like 5 of my homemade barbecue sauces to get a horse skull. Like There's all kinds
Nice.
of things you can do.
Nice.
Excuse me,
What do you
miss.
need a horse skull though?
I have everything. I have a giraffe skull. I have a stillborn foal. I have a bull that I processed.
You have a
come
giraffe
on.
skull?
I do, and a
That's
zebra.
Oh.
I love
Oh,
my
come on.
animals.
Ain't nothing wrong with having an animal skull in your house. My uncle, when I was a kid, he had a big old bull skull mounted in his living room.
Nice.
Dang
I
thing
mean,
had some of
yeah,
the biggest horns on it I ever saw.
I would want one if it's like a unusual, like a giraffe skull. Like that's unusual, you know.
Yeah, something different. Was there?
Gotta
let's
get
see,
those snipe
sister.
skulls.
Oh,
I'm gonna
ma'am.
post a picture for you guys. See if I can put it in the picture section of this.
Okay. Hey, are you gonna be raising any hogs?
No, hogs will probably be the one thing I don't raise. One, because they just demolish anything they're around. And two, in Iowa, we're like the #1 producer of pork. So I
Oh,
have
he
plenty of
already
friends
knows
that I
that.
can. Yes.
He
Yeah, there
already
are more
knows that.
hogs in
We've
Iowa than there are people.
I didn't know there was
Yeah.
a lot of pork. Usually, when I think of Iowa, I think of like corn, not really pork. So you also have a lot
Oh,
of pork there.
Yeah,
Yep,
what do
corn
you
and pork,
feed to like pigs? What do you feed? Hmm?
everything.
Yeah, pigs will eat anything. They're ravenous.
Yeah, but most often corn.
Out here, we've got corn and more corn.
Let me put it to you this way:
You
you
should
ever
see
heard the
Kansas.
phrase "never cheat with a hog farmer's wife"?
No.
He'll feed you to the hogs.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Oh.
all but the fingernail, all but the finger and toenails.
I posted those pictures. We'll bite you. Yeah, I love pigs. I will snuggle pigs. I will give them scratchies. I just don't want to own them.
I will tell you this though: I will tell you this though: hogs are real easy to lead back into their pens if they get out.
There.
Yeah,
Just
shake
get
the
a
food and
bucket
they're
full.
come
Yeah,
running.
just get a bucket full of food and start shaking it, and as soon as they hear it, they'll come running.
There.
Okay, so back on topic.
Impossible.
Farm hours
Yeah.
over.
With everyone's ADHD, this is gonna be a hard fucking time.
It's real
Yeah.
Midwesterner hours here.
Come
So
on, ADHD makes me more interesting.
it makes everyone more interesting.
Autism makes me interesting.
Dude, same.
So in the Cargill Bumpstock case, the ATF has knocked it down. This is a message directly from Michael Cargill.
Oh. Extremely.
Breaking news. I did it. Michael Cargill versus Merrick Garland. The Department of Justice, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the Bumpstock lawsuit. I beat him in the United States Supreme Court. I was told over 5 years ago, why are you going down this road? No one cares about bump stocks. Let's go ahead and let them take the bump stock. But instead, I stood and fought. And because of this, the bump stock case is going to be the case that saves everything. It's going to stop the ATF from coming after their brace, the triggers, all different parts and pieces that they're trying to ban. And I'm glad I stood up and fought. So now we have a case that is case law that we can move forward around this country and defend our Second Amendment rights. As always, more guns equals less crime. You go out there and you buy yourself a gun. Better yet, get yourself a bump stock. Breaking news. I did it.
Absolute legend.
We love a
Wait,
strong
so-
black man.
Yes.
That man
So, him
is a
talking about-
king.
Yes, he is.
So him talking about obviously the stocks and things, but he had mentioned triggers. So could this potentially lead way into like undoing the ATF ban on FRTs?
Probably,
are
but
FRTs?
it'll probably go even further than that.
Let's go abolish the NFA.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
I-
What are FRTs?
Force reset
triggers.
Basically, as soon as it fires, it kind of pushes the trigger forward into a reset position. Thus, obviously, if you kind of have like the right positioning on it, it allows you to just naturally
Oh,
re-pull the trigger and another round. And
now
Yeah.
in short, it just speeds up the semi-auto fire.
Yeah.
That is insane. So does that mean like it turns basically like into a pistol? You can like shoot as fast as you can pull the trigger.
Eh, right now it is only hammer fired AR-15s. Like it's only designed for those right now.
Well, someone made like a printable one for the AK.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. It's still hammer fired.
Yes.
I am a bit confused here because you said Molly. You said it can fire as fast as a pistol. Now, being unfortunately from Kazakhstan, my gun knowledge is left wanting. But can't you normally fire rifles the same the speed you
Yes.
fire a pistol?
Yes.
So it just like it doesn't allow it to fire kind of auto fire. Does it just speed up the?
It's not automatic fire because of the fact
Right.
that it requires another like actuation of the trigger. But what a regular like a non FRT trigger would do is you would have to manually like release your finger in order to reset the trigger. But this it automatically like forces it into that reset position.
So you can still fire with just like multiple rounds with one trigger pull, or you get like
No,
No.
there are separate trigger pulls.
But like a proper like a decent grip and stance does allow you to fire it much faster than just your manual moving your finger back and forth.
So with a regular trigger, do you have to like let the trigger go fully? And with this, you don't have to fully release the trigger. You can kind of like half release it or something, or you don't. Or is that what makes it fire faster?
No, so what makes a person fire fast or slow is how familiar they are with the sear point on any trigger that they're using. So I'm very familiar with where my trigger resets and re-engages the sear.
Oh.
Whether it be on my AR or on my Glock or my P320, I know where that position is, and so instead of fully releasing back to the furthest forward position, I just quickly release back to the trigger reset and pull again.
And those can be done with, like, for example, I do dry fire trigger reset drills where you just have the trigger fully compressed, reset, like, for example, on like really any of my handguns, reset the slide to do that, and then just release until most handguns you'll hear the click of it, but basically release it just until it's able to reset that trigger, and then which case you can then pull it in. But obviously the full reset, like the reset of the striker or the hammer on like an AR or something like that, it's going to be before like you have fully released the trigger itself. Like there's still going to be a little bit more room that you can, like, if you wanted to just fully let go of the trigger.
see.
I just gotta clear it up for Dale. I said as fast as you can pull the trigger, which I think would refer to revolvers. And for example, there was a guy called Ed McGivern who could fire 5 shots in 2/5 of a second, which is a fire rate of 12.5 shots per second.
What? I like
So he's
fanning it.
he's
Yeah,
a
probably
trick
fanning.
shooter. He's fanning the hammer.
Yeah. So I think revolvers can have like the fastest fire rate possible if you're very fucking skilled.
What do you mean by fanning the hammer?
So fanning the hammer essentially is like the on a revolver. So you have your first round set up, the hammer pulled back, you fire that, but then you have your like a second hand ready, so that then holding the trigger down, you can use like your thumb, pull the hammer back, releases it, it smacks into the next round. Use another finger, for example, then and hit pull the hammer back, release it. Then it's basically you manually just like pulling the
Pretty
hammer
much if
back,
you watch
letting
any
it
like
go.
old western.
All
Yeah.
right. All right.
Is it kind
I
of
see.
like slam firing one of them old timey World War One era shotguns, similar to
Yes.
that?
I'm sorry. I'm doing this and I'm finishing mounting the plates on my new roller skates.
Roller
Um,
skates are fun.
What?
I said roller skates are fun.
Yes. So this case is going to give way to the end of the NFA, and I'm hoping the end of the ATF. While we're at it, let's just get rid of the whole fucking government because it's worthless.
And the
Seconded.
Fed Reserve, please.
Also seconded. Burn the Federal Reserve down and salt the earth there so that nothing can ever grow again.
If
Let's
the ATF
go.
was
Include all of the
dismantled in my
employees.
lifetime. Holy shit. Ugh.
I can't wait to have my fucking 10.5-inch AR with a can fully auto and not have to worry about my dogs.
That would be nice.
Well, just remember, those ATF agents are now going to be looking for new work once we get rid of the agency.
They can go to Mexico and help contain the cartels. I
Yeah,
volunteered.
they already have a great
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's true.
There's
Contain
because they're
the
so good at
cartels, i.e.
discerning
sell them
people.
guns.
Contain
Yep.
the cartels. Hell, they're likely to go work for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
They already have enough street cred from all the guns they've sold the cartels over the years.
Oh yeah, they're definitely first name basis.
Yeah.
So what is next on the docket with getting rid of the ATF? Right now, Bumpstocks are taking care of
Isn't there-
the next two on the chopping block are probably going to be
I think suppressors.
Pistol
No.
braces.
I think it's I honestly think it's going to be 80% lowers.
Hmm.
Okay. I was saying suppressors because I know someone had reintroduced a bill. What is it? I forget the name of the bill, but it's one of those like hearing protection bills. Basically, pushing the fact that suppressors, they're not Hollywood where it goes pew pew pew, but basically just using like pushing it as a hearing protection aid
Yeah.
for people who shoot.
So are suppressors currently legal or are they banned?
They're
They-
legal, but they're regulated under the NFA.
You have to
Yeah,
pay
don't
a
push that button.
$200 extortion fee, and as it's an NFA item, if you want to take it across state lines, you have to put in a request and be like, "Hey, can I please take my suppressor from Ohio down to Tennessee?"
So gay.
Do they refuse those requests or do they accept all the requests?
I don't.
It depends on
haven't
the
heard.
person.
Yeah, but typically, I don't think I've heard of cases where they deny it. But the fact is, you have to like submit a request and wait for them to approve it. It's not like you could just go, "Oh, hey, like I surprise trip came up. Let me I'm going from say I'm going down to Kentucky and I want to bring my rifle with me. And if your rifle is an SBR, tax stamped SBR, you can't just take that down there.
Terrible.
I don't remember. Did did any magazine limit restrictions is any of that federal or have only certain states?
It's
I-
only state.
implemented?
Only
Okay.
states and cities, because for example, in Ohio, there is no like magazine limit ban, but in Columbus specifically, they do have restrictions on 30-round magazines or more.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking. Thank you.
So you can't buy them, or you just can't possess them in the city?
Possess them.
Hmm.
I'd be surprised if that doesn't go away very quickly soon.
My ass, if I lived in one of those, I'll admit I'd be kind of like one of those, like, I'll comply, but but like in a way that kind of makes you pissed off. Like I'd get like a 20 rounder and then put like one of those like 7-round extensions on the bottom of it. Be like, it's a 27-round mag. And it's like, it's not a 30.
Can you
Yeah.
not math? Come on.
Yeah.
Just wondering, isn't the ATF just going to do everything they can to try to ensure they still have a job?
Yeah, but there's only so much they can do.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
we're spanking Garland right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Thankfully,
remember,
he was not on the
Well-
Supreme Court.
well, remember what they've said. They have 7 ways of Sunday to make sure they get their way.
Well, now they have 6, and hopefully soon they'll have 5, and so forth.
I'm hoping more like swing people and judges like that are really gonna like just be starting against them, just from the whole fact of this is a law enforcement agency that's basically attempting to create law.
Yeah.
But are people really that smart?
True. What's the whole take your average intelligence that you think of a person, and it's probably half that.
Yeah. Well, to quote H.L. Mencken, right? It's like, think of how dumb the average person is, and then remember that half of all people are even dumber than that.
That's the quote. Yep.
Okay, escape plates are mounted.
All right, very nice.
So I will get to do my
So-
workout tonight.
Nice. So you mentioned that you think it's going to be you were talking about which ones you thought were next on the chopping block. Wouldn't that be pistol braces, since there's already that case going through?
already
as
been.
well? Oh. I thought
They've-
it was just an appeals court, not the Supreme Court.
It is still in circuit court, but look at how long it took Cargill to get to the Supreme Court.
People
And-
figure that the ATF is going to try to take the pistol brace all the way to the Supreme Court.
Why would they do that? Like, are they idiots? Just thinking of
Yes.
their logic, like
Yes.
they keep taking L's, and then they keep giving the Supreme Court ability to take more L's.
Dude, look
What
at
I
who
miss-
runs the ATF, and look at who
Yeah.
works for the ATF. They're nothing but a bunch of kid killing, dog killing, women killing thugs.
Quote
Yeah.
from what was his name? The representative in that went to court. Quote from him: "I am not a firearms expert." Proceeds to be a representative
Oh,
of
Jesus.
the ATF.
What?
Yeah. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I don't really think very highly of ATF scumbags.
me neither. But like, I mean, you'd think at some point they're gonna want to stop having
Nope.
Clarence Thomas just destroy them.
No, no, they're sadists. They like getting their butt spanked.
Yeah.
And next
Yeah,
week
but
I
it-
will next week I will get the briefs from the Supreme Court to go over this.
Alright. Once again, I would just like to shout out to the GOAT, Clarence Thomas. Keep fucking these guys up.
Dale.
Yeah.
I'm imagining that like Clarence Thomas like wakes up in the morning, checks his calendar, and he's like, "Oh yes, perfect! I get to own ATF again."
Yes.
I'll tell you something else I've also seen. Something that might be worth discussing, just for the hell of it. But have you seen these people on Twitter
Ah, fuck.
complaining and stuff like, oh, the Supreme Court cares more for the Second Amendment than they do about women being able to kill their own kids?
Yeah.
My
Well,
favorite
they took
is
out Roe, so that's good.
I just like when people say that, if only they restricted firearms the way they do the uterus. And I'm just sitting here like, motherfucker, there's over 300,000 restrictions and regulations and bans down to the municipality. Like, do you not want to be able to walk into a library, an airport, any government building, cross state lines? Go fuck yourself.
No, you need federal approval first.
Walk into the initial part of the airport with a gun. Trust me, I've flown one before. Well, a couple, but yeah. But,
See here.
but yeah, no, I didn't. But you have to go in and be like, hey, yeah, so I need to let you know I have this, and then they immediately take it from you.
I gotta say one thing. I like how government and societies have evolved so disconnectedly from the population that now they're allowed to have weapons on their property, in public spaces as well. But if you're a civilian, you're not allowed to, because you're not the government.
Of course.
We have a really good history about killing people in government, and that makes them afraid.
I hope
Hey,
that
the Dutch
history
have the
persists.
history of eating their prime minister.
Molly, it's called rules for thee. No, wait, it's called rules for thee, but none for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that too.
Well, and here's the big thing. There are starting to be spats between the Fed and local municipalities. Let's not forget that the ATF agents in Columbus got arrested for not presenting ID to a Columbus police officer.
Oh yeah, I remember
But don't
that
the
one.
feds have more
yeah.
power than us local peons?
It depends. Like,
Okay,
hard to say.
I just see I just found a hard decision here. Out of the two, would you rather the ATF is abolished or the IRS is abolished?
ATF first.
IRS.
ATF.
I don't. It's not a choice I like having to make, but ATF. The ATF.
think
The IRS still needs to go though.
I think IRS because Thomas Clarence can just keep dunking on the ATF.
Molly does make a good point. If you get rid of the IRS, and the
Same
ATF
shit, though.
itself would have to go.
True.
So my decision was smarter? Damn.
Yeah. Get rid of the IRS, you pretty much kill two birds with one stone. Because without the IRS, the ATF has no excuse to exist.
If anyone gets into the office, please have me as vice president.
Well, I mean, I don't think the IRS doesn't necessarily like taxes were being collected before the IRS existed in the U.S. I don't think they would. Them disappearing would just make it so. No
Yes,
one-
but
the ATF and IRS are tied together at the hip.
But see, it wasn't income taxes that were being collected. It was property taxes.
Oh, when did the IRS come into being? Was that when? Was
I-
that with
well,
I
Wilson
believe
when
it-
he brought back?
I believe it was at
Well,
the
Joe
same
Wilson.
time.
1876, President Lincoln. Yes, so there.
1862.
Yeah. Yeah, Lincoln brought in the IRS though.
I see the quote unquote temporary wartime measures.
Oh, it's like I'm not even gonna say.
What?
Yeah, he fucked up all the things. It's fine.
Yep.
He fucked up all the
Thankfully-
things.
Thankfully, he was very open-minded.
Oh yeah. I'm glad the ATF agent that's fucking me in the ass is open-minded. You know.
Yeah, him and Kennedy were both some of the most open-minded presidents we ever had.
Yes.
God,
Well, don't
baby.
forget Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton didn't
Yeah.
have his mind open to anything.
Then there's Hillary
Nah,
Clinton.
he got a piece
No,
of
but he had
land
his
mine.
pants open.
Yeah. Then there's
Mhm.
Hillary Clinton, who opens other people's minds.
Yeah,
No,
she's
they
a great
opened their
mind
own
opener.
minds.
Oh yes,
And I open her emails.
of course. They opened their own mind multiple times and then stuffed themselves into a suitcase and threw themselves in front of a train.
And hung
Hey,
themselves, too.
Molly,
Yep.
Yeah.
Molly, don't forget, Bill Clinton also opened the minds of several of your countrymen too.
Did he though?
Yeah.
Also, did you know that in Bosnia, some of the U.S. airstrikes actually hit like Bosnia, or was it Kosovo? I have a video, but
It
they
was
hit.
between Kosovo and Serbia at the time.
They're the same
No,
picture.
no, Stoner. There's a video that it's like a compilation of like war stuff, but basically some US fucking bombers actually hit Albanian refugees in Kosovo instead of
Amazing.
I'm
Serbian
not
targets.
surprised. Have you seen the quality of people the military's pumping out these days?
Well, you say
Yeah.
these days, but back then it was like 20 years ago.
We are so off topic right now.
It doesn't. This is the thing. We are ADHD. Shit happens. Okay, suck a dick.
Yo.
I would join more just
Yes.
for that.
Yes.
Well, you are always welcome.
I
Indeed.
should be free more now that it's summer and I'm not getting bit by dogs anymore.
Always
I
good.
ain't
Yes,
gonna get bit
that
by
was a
bugs and
glorious
mosquitoes.
day.
Yeah. I was supposed to join, what, a month ago?
Month and a half.
Yeah.
Month and a half? And then I got between a dog fight because I was just right there and instinct took over logical thought. And I got a huge canine in my muscle. So, my bad.
Canine's canine?
Huh?
A canine's canine?
Yes.
Yes.
Little shit. I love him still.
Okay, so moving on.
Sorry, before you continue, I will be right back. I have to go feed baby goats. But
Alright,
I will be
good luck.
back.
Okay.
Bah. Also, I was gone for 5 minutes because I forgot to beat up the dough, and I'm beating it now.
Yeah. Beat the dough, Molly.
Smack the
Just
dough
beat
down.
it.
Yeah.
Beat
So-
it.
Beat dough, not meat.
So,
Beat both.
the second topic on our discussions, and it came up because of the impromptu Monday night stream that we had on Go Bags, sourdough.
Go
So,
bags and sourdough. So you're saying that in every go bag should be a sourdough starter?
you should have a sourdough culture, yes. You should always have a sourdough culture. And it's as I had explained to Liz a couple weeks ago, when it comes to sourdough starter, you have everything you need to make the essentials. If you have a sourdough starter, you have what you need to make bread, you have what you need to make cleaning solutions, antiseptics, and alcohol.
Well, I do have to ask, because how do you get sourdough to produce cleaning and antiseptic stuff? I'm assuming you mean because it can create alcohol. It can create ethanol, right?
Well, not only can it create ethanol, but it can also create vinegar.
Oh.
Because
Create
vinegar is a type of alcohol.
It's just alcohol that was exposed to the air.
Exactly.
Wine, to be precise.
No. Completely different process.
Isn't vinegar also known as sour wine?
Well, I mean, there is white wine vinegar and red wine vinegar, so I guess I think you can turn wine into vinegar, but
You can turn wine into vinegar. The
I
the
have
process the process is different because in the fermentation process, you are quite literally exposing it and allowing all of the oxygen to get in during the fermentation
Yeah.
process.
Whereas
With
fermenting into alcohol, you want to
you're
basically put something
airlocking
on
it.
there so that air can't get in.
right. I'm just sort of wondering because my understanding of how you produce alcohol from, like, for example, cultures, is that it doesn't get to that high of a percentage. It's before, like, before it just kills all the
The yeast.
all the yeast.
Yeast does not die.
Oh,
Yeast will not die. It will go dormant
Hmm.
because there's nothing to eat. And
Right.
and even if there is stuff to eat in a high enough alcohol content, it's not able to eat because it's swimming in its own urine.
Right. So the point I was trying to get at is, it's a kind of low percentage. You can't get it, like, in order to use alcohol as a, like, actual disinfectant. Doesn't it have to be a much higher percentage than the yeast can
Well, that's
get
why you
naturally?
learn how to distill.
Right. But I mean, you'd need something to be able to distill, wouldn't you?
Excuse
Like,
me.
Yes,
can
but
you fit,
that's part
like,
of the reason
distillation
why
into it?
that's part of the reason why I would also bring a cast iron Dutch oven.
You can distill in a
Dale.
cast iron Dutch oven?
Yes. If you know how to do it, you can. And I
All right.
am not at all advocating for anyone breaking any distillation laws in the US as a
I am.
disclaimer.
Not
Shut the fuck
go
up.
bags must
Distillation was.
all go bags must have a whiskey distillery in them.
Yeah.
Dale, two things.
Yeah.
Vinegar, wine vinegar exists. I have it in the kitchen.
Yes.
And when I used to drink wine from a bottle, I kept opening it often and drinking just a little bit, and it fermented due to being exposed to the air. So you just need to leave wine open in the air, and it's gonna ferment into
Right.
vinegar.
Well,
Turn
the
into vinegar.
the fermentation process is quite literally creating alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's
that is
what
why I recork bottles of wine.
Yep.
that's what
Yeah.
fermentation is creating alcohol.
Yeah. But so how do you distill with a Dutch oven? Like, don't you need to collect the distillate somewhere that's not in the Dutch oven? Like,
Yeah, so what you do is you have some sort of bucket
So kind of
with
like the process of like cleaning water, where essentially like you boil it, get it so that it drains into another container.
mm-hmm. There are several things you can do. You can put a hole in the cast iron skillet.
Yeah.
And run that through some sort of tubing, through water to cool it down. Obviously, you want some temperature control because if you don't, you risk blowing yourself up.
right.
Boom.
Kablooey.
Yeah, just ask some of these old timey moonshiners if you can find any.
Yeah. Well, you could probably find some down where you are, Stoner.
Remember,
I
it
can
ain't
either
shine if you
confirm-
paid
I can-
taxes on it.
I can neither confirm nor deny that statement.
Fair enough.
So because the topic of sourdough became a thing, I was trying to make bread last weekend for one of my coworkers and for our hairstylist, And of course, my starter stopped rising.
Why did it stop rising?
Well, because I hadn't given it its weekly nutrition. So I had been feeding it, but it needs a higher protein content than what's in bread flour.
Mhm.
So what you do is you feed it whole grain flour.
Erica, why are you so obsessed with what's it called, sourdough?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's natural. It makes food better for you.
Plus, have you
So
ever had sourdough? It's
No,
fucking
haven't.
good.
so when it comes to bread, using baker's yeast, that's a modified strain of yeast in which it's supposed to create a lot of CO2 really fast, but it doesn't actually condition any of the gluten or any of the starches in the dough, and so your body cannot properly process any of those starches or gluten.
Right.
Sourdough yeast, which is wild yeast, will actually slowly condition the gluten and the starches and convert them into simple sugars. And that is actually better for you than baker's yeast.
So why does baker's yeast exist then?
Because people are impatient and want their bread right then and there.
Oh, so it's just mass production. I get it.
Yeah, so baker's yeast came off of a beer yeast culture.
Huh.
Because the way that you make beer is you ferment hops in water, and people who were baking found out that the fermentation time for beer was faster than their sourdough fermentation for their bread. And so they skimmed a bunch of that yeast off of the kettles in which they used to ferment beer in, and they found out, oh, well, I can make bread really fast. That's where the original culture came from, and that's what's been perpetuated down through the centuries.
Fun fact:
Mhm.
you can make kvass, which is a drink popular in Russia and Serbia, out of sourdough. It's probably pretty good.
Is it an alcoholic drink or is it a non-alcoholic drink?
It's alcoholic because you're making it with fermented breads.
Strong alcoholic drink or like beer or like?
Maybe like beer, maybe
Hmm.
maybe slightly stronger than beer, but I think it's like beer.
Fair enough. Have you ever had that?
Obviously, like a lot of the times.
Probably
Yes,
like a stout.
It says it has no more than 1.5% alcohol by volume.
No, so it's very weak alcoholic.
But if it stands for a longer time, it can concentrate to 2.5 or higher. Unlike beer, it's generally considered to be a non-alcoholic, but it's drunk by children as well.
Of course.
Fun fact, speaking of Russia, most people think vodka comes from Russia. Nope, it's Poland. We stay winning.
Congrats, you're keeping the entire Russian population down for decades and centuries.
Well, yeah, that's the Polish thing to do. There's literally a joke about Poland where it's like, it doesn't matter that Poland loses, just that Russia loses worse.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Stoner?
Make sourdough
So I didn't know Luna was Polish?
Yep.
Does your last name end in
Cool.
ski?
No, but only because we're pretty sure it changed. It changed like a century or two ago.
Ah, fair enough. Did it change from ski?
Yes.
Alright.
But yeah, other than that, even like we joke because one part of my family, I'm Irish, and
Oh.
the only way that last name would have be more Irish is if it had O before it, and then with my my last name, the only way for it to be even more Polish is if it had ski at the end of it. But yeah, my great grandparents actually immigrated from Poland.
Poland.
Yeah, though my
Poland.
great grandma was Austrian and then moved to Poland and then to the U.S.
Yeah. On one side, they have no potatoes. On the other side of your family, they have potatoes, but they distill and drink them.
Yep. Hey, one side they have whiskey, the other side they have vodka.
We don't have another alcoholic in here, do we?
I am.
Hey, don't blame me, it's in my genes.
Oh,
That's an interesting
All,
thing.
all, all it's all we have. We have alcohol, potatoes, and cabbage.
okay, but I don't see you making kombucha.
Yeah, that's hipster shit.
Don't you also have sausages? Those
Yes,
Polish
we have sausages. My grandpa would say how when he would go to his grandparents, like every meal was just some sort of combination of sausage and cabbage.
Huh.
Were they living in Silesia?
Hmm?
Were they living in Silesia?
No, they had moved here to Ohio. They moved from Slavic land to the land that doesn't exist.
So technically, we have two Slavs here, Molly and Luna, or at least half Slav.
Cheeky breeky,
Kanukistan,
rush B.
or Soviet Stan.
Yeah.
I heard everything east of Vienna is Russia in denial, so
Russia would definitely say that. Not
Both
sure.
both the Ukrainians and my Polish ancestors would like a
Gesundheit,
word.
baby.
Okay, so with that, how has everyone's week been?
Can't complain.
Yeah, it's all right. Can't really complain. I just bought a new
Busy
chair.
with work.
Oh yes, always work. Yeah, I finally invested some time and money into getting one of those quote unquote gaming chairs. This one was specifically supposed to be for like tall people. And I also guess really fat people as well, but I got it because I'm tall. It's still too small for me.
Of course it is.
So,
How
yeah,
much did it cost?
$270 Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I can fit it in, but it's still like it's supposed to have a footrest, but the footrest doesn't even get like, yeah, with it fully extended, my feet are still like it gets up to like the calves, so it is what
Yeah,
it is.
maybe like go to those like surgeries where they break your bones and to make you shorter. You know.
Oh,
Okay, this is
I like being tall. I can reach things.
so
Like, so
when
can I with
I
a chair.
can reach things, and I can whack Molly on the head with a hat.
when
Good thing
when
you
it
didn't
when
say
it
spoon.
If
when it
anyone
come
would,
when
get
it
that
comes
reference,
down to it,
maybe if it's too old.
A dog got into the trash.
When it comes down to it, Dale, you should buy yourself a nice, comfy office chair. I've had gaming chairs; they get uncomfortable real fucking fast.
Now, you want to know what's real comfy? A lazy boy.
That's true.
Yeah, but you can't really have that at a desk.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Y'all are over here
Um,
giving my girlfriend ideas.
I'm getting feedback from you, Stoner.
Stonertism.
Are you still getting it?
Not currently.
Let's
Go invent another AR. God.
Invent another AR. Listen, with my new bolt design that I'm still trying to sell off. I mean, revolutionize ARs.
Make the
Speaking of-
AR-18 great again.
Yeah, make the AR-18 great again.
I was about to
Agreed.
say the
I want
AR-18.
an AR-18. I really, really, really want an AR-18.
Why isn't an AR-18 like more popular? It seems more like economical because it's simpler.
Well, it has a better design to it for starters.
It does.
I like the overall look of the 15 more than the 18.
How about the 10?
Here, that's good.
Let-
I have a lower that I need to build into a full-on rifle.
Which is do
Dale,
you
can
think
you
is
do
the
the
Sorry?
yeah? Can you do the AR-10 with the wood? I think that would be better.
Wood furniture.
Yes.
Get one of those. Patrol the Mojave. My life would be complete.
Literally.
Yeah. Which is the superior AR? The 10, the 15, or the 18?
15
It depends
would
on
wood.
what you're looking for.
Hmm?
It depends on what you're wanting.
All right. What are the pros of the AR-10?
Fires a larger
7.62.
cartridge, has a harder stopping power to it.
Yeah, the
How about-
10 is in 308. As the 15, well, typical traditional 15 is in 556.
How about the 18? Where are the pros of the 18?
Gas piston system instead of the gas impingement system on the AR-15.
It's also stamped.
It has a doesn't have the buffer tube going into the stock, so you can make it with a foldable stock, so it stores easier.
It's a side it's oh my gosh, what?
A side chick.
And
Yeah, no.
and also this will make Dale very happy.
Eh,
You could get you could design a conversion kit for an AR-18 and make it bullpup.
Based. All right, I know
Ugh.
which one. I know which one I'm getting.
no,
No.
I'm an unapologetic bullpup hater.
Same.
Terrible.
I don't really
It-
care that
hey,
much for a
It
meter.
is a free country, and both of you are allowed to be wrong.
Bullpup hatred is built into Slavic people.
Yes.
Changed my mind.
Bullpups are the superior gun.
Okay,
Okay,
so
why are they superior?
here you go.
Um,
AR-10 with wooden furniture.
Oh,
Yes, the AR that
Oh, I'm
appeals
in
to my Irish
love.
side.
making me orgasm in chat. What the fuck?
Listen, shh.
Oh, that is so sexy.
This is where the stream devolves into moaning and gasping.
I swear, if you start doing that, you're getting server mute.
But
And general degeneracy.
speaking of piston-based reciprocating side charging and my
Oh,
Polish
Lord.
ancestry, have you seen the Polish version of the AK-74? It's the Tantal. It is completely different than like every other AK, like 74 out there. It's so it has two different selectors on it. On the right is like the safety selector is a little bit different than traditional like AK and AK-74, but it then that's just safe and fire. And on the left, you have between a semi 3-round burst and full auto, like as a completely separate selector.
Very nice.
Okay,
I gotta
can
say
you
though, I
can
hate
you
the stock.
So
can you repeat that description again, please?
For the Tantal.
Yes.
So let me see if I can find an image so that I can put into chat. But so it was Poland had, like, when the Soviet Union was switching over to the 74 from the 47, they had designed essentially their own version of it, because they're and it has on the right side, like the dust cover like selector, that just switches between fire and safe. But then on the left side, they have a different selector switch on there for the select fire.
interesting. So, you had mentioned before that one of the pros of the AR-18 was a gas piston instead of gas something else. What does the gas piston do, and why is it better at doing what it does than the other thing you mentioned?
Because
So-
the gas impingement system on the AR-15 taps gas directly from the round being fired, and it can kind of gum up the workings
Well,
of the bolt.
here's
Whereas on a piston system, the gas just hits the piston and it runs a little bit cleaner.
yeah. So in both, there's a gas tube. In a long or short stroke piston system, instead of the gas going directly to the bolt to unlock it from the chamber, the piston is what cycles the bolt. And then on a gas impingement system, hold on one second here. I am peeking like no other.
I've got a GIF of a gas impingement system working. I'm fixing to post it here in the chat.
So on a gas impingement system, it'll still travel through that gas tube, and then it will spin the locking lug on the bolt, and the rest of the gases that are still in the chamber will push the bolt back. So when we were going through boot camp, we had to be able to describe the cycling system on our M16s. It is a gas-operated blowback weapon. It is not blowback, and it's not gas-operated. It's both.
I see. So, you now describe both the pros of both the AR-10 and the AR-18. Where does then the AR-15 shine compared to the other two?
Modularity.
Fair enough.
I mean,
Does
that's all you're going to really need to look for in any weapon system in this day and age is modularity. You can get almost anything in any caliber you want. You just need modularity.
And the other guns aren't, the AR-10 and 18 aren't as modular?
No, because they haven't made them to be modular.
Although, I mean, modern AR-10s can be decently modular.
True.
Uh-huh.
But
basically all an AR-10 is just a beefed up AR-15.
Exactly. What at this day, or at this point in this day and age, there's really not much of a difference between an AR-10 and an AR-15 except for the caliber.
That's why you got to go with the KAC M110.
I'll be honest with you, if 30-06 ammo was a little bit more affordable, I wouldn't mind having an AR-10 chambered in 30-06.
I've seen an AR. It was a It was a side-charging AR chambered in 300 Win Mag.
Oh, Jesus.
Do normal ARs unable to chamber 300 Win Mag?
That's an extremely high-pressure cartridge.
That is a hefty round. Like,
Let me put you this way:
it
you
is
tag
big.
somebody with that thing wearing body armor, they are definitely going to feel it.
Like,
Is
I
that
asked
something you need
someone
level
where I was
4 plates for?
I asked someone, I was like, hypothetically, if I were hypothetically in Minecraft, if I were to take a 300 Win Mag soft point, drill a hole in it, and put a little piece of like tungsten welding rod in there, cover it back up, how would it do against level 4s? They were like butter.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go ahead and
Like
open
even
this up.
but like a comparison of like 300 Win Mag to even like 54R. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this is on the left a 5.56 cartridge, on the right 300 Win Mag.
Dang. It's a
Yeah.
big cartridge.
High pressure.
That is one speedy boy.
So AR-15 probably would get damaged if you tried to fire one of those.
Well, I mean, if you have a chamber that can take a 300 Win Mag, it's probably designed to take the pressures of 300 Win Mag. You're not going to be able to chamber that cartridge in a normal 5.56 chamber. It's going to get jammed.
Right. Could you chamber that in a AR-10?
No, because even
No.
the size difference of 308 versus 300 Win Mag are, yeah.
What sort of rifle would you need to chamber a 300 Win Mag?
Something that's specifically designed for 300 Win Mag.
Okay, so this is 300 Win Mag on the left, 308 on the right.
Right.
And then
And ARs can chamber
7.62.
308.
Like, for example, you're bringing up a comparison with like 54R? Or
I'm
let's
sorry, I
see.
got frozen on my end.
So it isn't showing. On the far left is 50 BMG. Just to the right of that is 300 Win Mag.
Oh.
Just to the right of that is 308 Winchester. To the right of that is 7.62 by 39. To the right of that is 5.56 NATO. And then on the far right is the tiny little 22 long rifle.
Kind of false advertising, isn't it? Call it long rifle, and it's the smallest caliber.
Well, it was meant for a 22 caliber long rifle.
They have a bunch of different types of little 22 ammo. You have 22 long rifle, 22 shorts. What is
22 Magnum.
Yeah, that one. 22 Magnum.
Is there even a point of a 22 long rifle?
At this
Squirrel
point,
hunting.
plinking.
Linking?
so I just sent an image
squirrel
to
hunting.
the chat of so on the left you have a 300 Win Mag, and on the right you have 30-06.
Thank you for that picture.
Yeah. What is the largest or most powerful round an AR can take? Can it do a 30-06?
Hello?
Hello.
Wait.
It could probably take a 30-06 if you have it chambered for it.
Yeah, it would have to be just like with the 300 Win Mag. It would have to be specifically designed for that.
Now, when you get into bullet sizes, and cartridges that take something bigger than a 22 sized bullet,
Mhm.
you're probably going to get or have to get a bolt that's modified specifically for that cartridge. Because the extractor is on the bolt.
With the exception of 300 blackout, I'd say.
Yeah, actually, let's take a look at what 300 blackout versus 556 looks like.
It is like as far as the back of it, it is exactly the same because all it is a 556 casing that's been necked up to 300, to a 3 caliber.
Okay.
So as far as like where the bolt grabs onto it, you can literally it's literally just a case of swap out the barrel in an AR and to a 300 blackout barrel, and it'll take it. You can use the same bolt.
Yeah. And
Just make sure you change out. Just make sure you change out the barrel before you start shooting 5.56.
yeah,
in it, though.
obviously.
That isn't as big of that wouldn't be as big of as opposed to if you had around a 300 blackout slip into your 556 mag.
Oh yeah, that would be really, really bad.
I've seen videos of rifles just detonating, like a rifle just detonating on someone, like blown out the top and all because somehow 300 blackout made its way into his 556 mag.
I was
Oh,
thinking more along the lines about what happened to Scott with his
Scott?
50 cal blowing up in
Oh.
him.
Right. That's Kentucky Ballistics, right?
Yeah.
I remember that. Had to jam his thumb into his neck.
Yeah, but the problem with the 300 blackout going into a 556 AR is it'll seat. But obviously you're trying to fucking put a 7.62 round through a little barrel that's 5.56 millimeters.
About like trying to put a Cadillac through a doggy door. Ain't gonna work.
Are there any issues? Because there are issues with putting a cartridge that has too much power into a gun that's not designed for it. Are there any issues with the opposite, like putting something that's too small or too little power in something that's too?
The biggest issue that you're truly going to run into is
cycling.
Cycling and lack of accuracy when the round leaves the chamber. Because remember, the rounds are supposed to be slightly bigger than the barrel, like bigger in diameter than the barrel. Because as you fire the cartridge and those gases release, it's forcing a bullet into the barrel, and there are lands and grooves, and the bullet is supposed to conform to the lands and grooves and get stuck in the rifling so that as it pushes as the gases push the bullet out through the barrel, the bullet will start spinning.
Right.
Hence is why rifles tend to be more accurate than smooth
Well,
bores.
we've got someone heading out, it looks like.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've been back for a while. I didn't want to interrupt, and I love listening. It was
No,
it was very
you're
enjoyable.
fine.
This is all my husband's territory. Like my husband knows all the gun things. I can point and shoot and aim, and I can kind of clean them now. I'm very proud of myself for that. But that's about it.
This is where I kind of go autistic on.
He is welcome to anytime. I hope you have a good night and have fun doing those chores.
Hey, you ever have a farming stream and zombie apocalypse stream about what we should do and what roles we can all play or how to properly skin and gut animals? I'm your girl.
Maybe
Those are my
next
goals.
week. Maybe next week.
I got you.
Hopefully, I don't have to, they don't cancel work on me this week, making me have to go in for Saturday again.
Bitches.
Okay, with
Oh.
that, I will go ahead and say have a good night, Albany, and we will see you soon.
Thank you. You guys have a
Night,
wonderful
night.
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 Thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Fun fact to the chat that's not so fun. The reason I wasn't here last week was because we had work because that Thursday had been canceled due to the night before a tornado going through and cutting off the power to my workplace.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun fact, we didn't have a show last Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, right.
Previous one.
I felt like absolute shit, and I didn't know why. Coda thought I had COVID again. I
Hey,
didn't.
I had bronchitis like a couple weeks ago or so. I was talking to someone and they were saying, at least in my area, like several other people ended up having bronchitis. So who knows? Could be something
Yeah.
like that.
Guess what? So did Stoner, and the only reason he found out is because I told him to stop being a little bitch and go to the fucking doctor.
Doctors are expensive.
I know they are, but you cannot avoid it. I told
Okay,
you
so
bronchitis is deadly.
yeah,
Wait, bronchitis is deadly?
my roommates were getting on me about going to the doctor, and I was finally like, okay, fine, I'm going to the doctor. And then, oh, hey, it's
The
bronchitis.
only reason why I went to the doctor was so my girlfriend would stop worrying about me.
Any respiratory infection can be deadly, to include bronchitis.
I did not know
Eh.
that.
And to this very day, I'm still having some breathing problems.
Oh, I've been coughing ever since, like coughing and just like having chest congestion.
Stoner, that should go away eventually. I had the same thing.
I don't maybe one of my roommates she had bronchitis a couple times and now she's got an inhaler.
Oh, speaking of, please tell her that I absolutely love the Raccoon City little theme that she's got going on with her 92 FS.
Yep. She's just needs to get a couple extra like aftermarket things like the proper like a brigadier slide, proper like barrel, things like that, and it'll basically be how she wants it.
Coda absolutely loved looking at those pictures, including the
We
badge.
just need to get her like a beret and have her like go as Jill.
Oh. I wonder if she'd ever go as Ada.
No, I maybe, but it's much more a possibility. I feel like it would be much easier to get her to do Jill.
And if it hadn't been for Coda, I never would have known any of these references.
She's a big Resident Evil fan.
Oh yes, she has watched like all of the replays from Markiplier and Jacksepticeye.
I don't think I've streamed since then, but yeah, she was watching my Twitch stream back on New Year's Eve when I was playing RE3 Remastered.
Very nice.
Does Coda know about the boulder puncher?
I don't know.
You should ask her.
Well, she is currently doing stuff with her Dead by Daylight friend. Let's see, what is Stoner posting? The Bergman MG15NA, the Hotchkiss M1909 Benet Mercier.
Wait, where's the Hotchkiss?
What the is that? That looks like someone
Oh,
welded two guns together.
oh, I like these. So
the-
the Bergman is a German MG. The Hotchkiss is a pretty good French MG. I think it was used in French World War II tanks as well. It's also like a giant stripper clip. That's like 30 bullets to the left. Hold on, I need to set the magazine for the Hotchkiss. Hold on.
The what? Automatic rifle. What?
That's a that looks like a very large diameter barrel.
Y'all think those are some? You should see those Charlton automatic rifles. Basically, what those are is someone made a semi-auto conversion kit for Lee Enfields.
Jesus.
So
Why is the barrel for that Watt automatic rifle so massive?
Which one? Are you talking about the Huat?
Yeah, the Huat.
If I had to guess, I'd say it probably has a similar cooling system to what the Lewis gun had.
I'm not sure. I think it might be.
What did the Lewis have?
Ooh.
The Lewis gun, it had radiator fins on the barrel and a shroud over those radiator fins. And it was set up to where every time a bullet left the barrel, it would draw air out the back of the gun through to the front to cool it off during full auto fire.
Was it effective?
As effective enough that they got mass produced.
Hmm.
The matter of
Luna,
fact,
do-
By the way,
if I remember correctly, the Lewis gun was actually one of the first air-cooled machine guns.
Luna,
One
is
of
is
them.
that grip tape on the magwell?
Yes.
Oh, Molly posted a picture of how the Hotchkiss works.
Yeah, it
how
is.
the
I mean,
Hotchkiss magazine works. It's just
I
a
can't let
giant strip of it.
That's
can't let
odd.
people out here be seeing my info, like my serial number.
Also, the Fiat M 1915 is not called that. It's a fucking Villa Perosa, and it has an insane rate of fire, and it fires 9 mil.
The what?
It says in the first picture you sent, it's called a Fiat M 1915, and it's not called that. It's a Villa Perosa.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
surprised you
I've
didn't.
seen that. Yeah, I've seen that little machine gun on Sea and Arsenal.
I'm surprised you didn't comment
Yes,
on the 7.62 casing like jammed onto the charging handle of the AK.
Why would I?
oh my god. So that is a cool as shit AK, and I want to.
I'm literally the joke right now of like where it's like an guy's AR, an AR guy's AK, and it's just like the AR is like completely like modernized, tricked out, and all like that, and then the AK is just like stock like this.
I don't know.
Took a
I kind of
CSGO
prefer.
skin for the AK.
I kind of prefer the old timey metal magazines for my AK. They just look better with metal mags in them.
Although I do want to make my AK more modernized, like get either I don't know if it will work with this one, but either like a Midwest Industries Alpha series, like handguard and dust cover, or like a sure shot armament chassis for it.
If you dress it up just right, you could kind of make it look almost like an AK-12.
For example, like let me post images of both, like a Midwest Alpha Series AK. So it's basically like an American company version of like Zenitco. Wow.
And for the people potentially listening, all these pictures are being posted in the chat. Sorry you can't see them.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I just need to send this after she said that she needs to modernize her fucking AK.
Yet rifle is fine.
No, I have a different version where it's like, Niet, it's not the 1940s anymore, Grandpa.
So before we all got on stream, Luna was doing weightlifting.
Base.
Is this your normal exercise routine? Is just weightlifting, weight training?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to do more like we don't have a treadmill, but we do have an elliptical, so I need to do that a bit more.
Yes.
That's what I got roller skates for.
Why can I very easily picture Erica playing roller derby?
Not a fucking chance. I can barely stand on these sumbitches.
Okay, so here we are. On the left, we have Midwest Industries Alpha Series, and on the right, we have, it looks like, yeah, it is the version 3.0 of the Sure Shot armament chassis system. They did make a Block 2 just recently. Basically, it's quad rail on there because their original design like this for like the 2.5 and the 3.0 is M-locked, but they just recently came out with a Block 2 where it's the quad rail, but honestly, I kind of like it because it's one of those it's the rail design where like on the sides and the bottoms it has pick, but then it also has little M-lock slots.
You know that one
Personally,
on the left. That one on the left looks very similar to an AR-12. I bet you it works better than an AR-12.
Or an AK-12.
Yeah, AK-12.
Well,
yeah,
technically, it would look a bit more like an AK-15 due to the fact of it being chambered in 7.62.
Yeah, that is true.
I would take the Midwest.
I would too.
Over the Sure Shot.
Yeah. It looks. Listen, when it comes to firearms, I just love blackout.
The one on the right also comes in black.
Yeah. Even then, I'd still take the one on the left. I mean, the blackout is what initially drew me to it, but I think I'd take that one over the one on the right.
So we're not we're not able to get them anymore because of the like all the sanctions on Russia, but the one on the left is based on this. It is the from the company Zenitco, which is a Russian company. This is where the original design came from, and they kind of like we're gonna make our we will make our own.
Really?
You can see the similarities.
Yes.
That was
I hate
one mean looking muzzle brake.
So wait, are you no longer allowed to buy like Russian guns because of sanctions?
Imported from Russia? No. I'm pretty sure it's like if they've already been imported, you can, but I'm not 100% sure the legality on that.
Can I just say how stupid that is? Like, you're limiting exports, which are just gonna get diverted to the Russian army. If anything, buying those guns to like selling them to foreigners is gonna like reduce the amount of guns in Russia. Which is nice.
But you also have to remember, though, Molly, we have politicians over here that want to disarm American citizens. And one of the things that they can do to further disarm American citizens is stop arms imports.
Yeah, but that's not gonna stop AR-15s from being made, which you can still just get and arm the people. Which is like what?
Though I think the big reason for this is just simply from the fact that you're buying from a Russian company, therefore a Russian company that has close ties to like the Russian government and the Kremlin, and like they literally like they have Russian military contracts, and you are basically just purchasing from them. You're giving them your money.
Okay, but they had to use their resources to waste them on my ass to get me the gun from them, and they're wasting their time making me a gun instead of making a gun for a Russian soldier.
These politicians don't care.
True.
Yeah. But yeah, now after all that, like the costs of Zenitco stuff is like through the roof.
Doesn't
Hey,
surprise
it's a
me.
good business thing.
Kind of like the price on like 762 and 545 is not what it used to be.
Erica,
Huh?
Ooh, with a
what are your
stoner.
thoughts on this little AR-15 I posted?
That's on air. This is stoner.
Well, why does it have a barrel release handle?
Because that one's been modified to be a light machine gun.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
can you use it for quick barrel swaps?
No.
I don't know. I just found that
No.
picture.
That's the thing, is that handle on top in the past and even currently still is supposed to be used for barrel swap. It's part of the barrel assembly or the barrel attachment assembly.
Yep. The M6, if I remember correctly, the M60 had it. The M249 had it. And does it? The
Okay.
M240 also have it too?
Okay. Stoner, you put that in the wrong place.
I don't think he tried to.
Heresy posting on main.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to exterminatus. We're gonna have to exterminatus.
No.
What is this a reference to?
Dale, if you're not gonna serve in the on the front line, you're gonna serve it in the firing squad.
I'm guessing this is like a series or a movie or a game.
We're gonna have
Warhammer 40K.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm sorry. Directly to a penal regiment.
Communism stops here.
Based.
I mean, you might want to talk to the Canuckistanis about that, because they're pretty gung ho about, their communism.
Unfortunately, correct.
Well,
I'm still waiting for you guys
Canada-
to come and liberate us. In the
That's what I was
US.
fixing to say. Canada
Mm.
needs a regime change.
I agree. We have oil. Alberta has oil.
Yeah, we do too.
Very well
We're just not drawing any of it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Ignore the TF.
Well,
I tell you, the
liberate
military
Canada for the-
industrial complex, if they want to waste their money on something, they ought to invade Canada.
Yes,
Liberate Canada for their hash oil.
that too. And the maple syrup. We also produce 90-something% of the world's maple syrup.
Fun fact: we actually
Invade-
have
Invade
fact,
Canada for their beer, maple syrup, and oil.
Yes, I
Fun
very
fact,
much
like,
support this
20
position.
like 25 or so miles away from me, there's like a nature preserve place that actually makes maple syrup here in Ohio. Like they tap trees and everything.
You're even more useless, Dale.
No, the quality of American-made maple syrup.
Like
Also, Dale, tell
I'll
me
have you
one
I'll have
thing.
you know the Midwest is like the Canada of the US.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
why is it that maple
Only-
syrup here costs the same as whiskey?
Wait, what?
I've seen maple syrup in a store, and it costs as much as a bottle of whiskey.
Probably because it's much further to ship maple syrup from Canada to Serbia than it is to ship it to like the U.S. I
Bullshit.
don't think there's much maple syrup in like southeastern Europe.
Well, how many maple trees are there?
I don't think there are any. But yeah.
Weekend
speaking-
plans, do you like?
Blah. Oh, MTG.
Very nice.
It's a D&D deck actually, like from one of their it's a command deck, but one of their like crossovers with I think it oh my gosh, what is it? I think it's Forgotten Realms that it was a crossover with.
Dale,
Yeah.
it says Tatar maple or Tatarian maple is a species of maple widespread across Central and Southeastern Europe. And apparently there's 10 to 12 species of maple trees in Europe.
You know, the last set I played was the original Ravnica set.
So, according to ohiomaple.org, North America is the only place in the world where maple syrup is produced. In the United States, there are 12 maple producing states. Each year, Ohio is ranked 4th or 5th in maple production.
How much do they produce total? Or in total?
So we getting up there. My small state of Ohio is on our way to become a contender with Canada.
We'll see. I'm pretty sure Quebec alone produces like orders of magnitude more maple syrup than all of the U.S. put together.
Kanakistan is gonna Kanakistan.
To say about it.
Yes. All right. Actually, yes.
You gonna be, where's all this maple syrup
323
coming from? It's
million
coming from the middle of it's coming from out of thin air, nothingness. All this maple
And,
syrup is coming from the abyss.
All right.
And of-
so
and of
Quebec
course, Stoner.
Sorry. Quebec
said, and of-
produces about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying, and of course, Stoner posts the most accurate meme in our chat. This podcast made possible by autism.
Yeah, and so Quebec produces around 300 million barrels, I guess you could say, of maple syrup a year. The entirety of the US, which comes in second by country, produces 27 million. So yes, Quebec is. I shit on Canada a lot, but one of the things I will praise the virtues of in Canada is our maple syrup production.
So, Ohio maple producers annually provide approximately 100,000 gallons of syrup.
It's no. Well, I mean, compared to the rest of the world, that's pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, there are only 10 countries apparently that produce maple syrup.
So it looks like the number one state in the U.S. of maple syrup production is Vermont. About a yearly amount of about 2.55 million gallons of maple syrup.
Not bad.
I think it's out competing.
That's a lot of
Canada.
pancakes and waffles.
Mhm.
I need maple syrup.
Being as y'all got me thinking about Canada, here's a meme about Canada.
Canadian people when Americans use miles per hour instead of moose tracks per hockey goal.
Indeed.
Maple flavored confusion.
You're making me want to watch Dudley Do Right.
Oh, have any of you ever seen the movie Canadian Bacon?
Bits and
No.
pieces of it.
Oh, I'd recommend it. It's quite
That's
funny.
one of John Candy's later movies.
Yeah.
John Candy, the greatest Canadian Americans adopted.
Yep.
So I've been going through my old catalog of movies, and I realized that Jim Belushi was never as big as his brother.
As big as in as famous, or as big as in as fat?
Both, actually.
Speaking of Canada, for some reason I just got reminded of this one. I started watching it, but then didn't finish. This one, comedy horror movie directed by Kevin Smith called Yoga Hosers.
Oh Lord.
That's an
Jesus
interesting name.
Christ.
I was just thinking about something. Two of my favorite fat actors, John Candy and Chris Farley, and I miss them both.
Yeah,
Sorry boot that. Sorry boot that. Sorry boot that.
So the thing about John Belushi and Jim Belushi is they both occupied a lot of the same space in their early years of acting. I mean, they both did a bunch of B movies. Blues Brothers, that was a B movie.
It was?
Oh yeah, it was a B movie. Animal House, that was a B movie.
Oh, yes.
Animal House is
And-
one of those movies where like you go to rewatch it and you're like, oh, this did not age well.
They didn't?
Well, it doesn't matter at what point in time you watched it, whether it was when it originally came out or even now. You watch it and you think to yourself, what the fuck is this shit?
I've never actually seen Animal House, so is it like... I know isn't it about like a frat house or something?
Yes.
Yeah, think along the same route of American Pie or Napoleon Dynamite. It's just brain numbing bullshit.
Is it funny at least?
Yes. And then of course you take a look at Jim Belushi's early works. One of them was with Whoopi Goldberg, Jumpin' Jack Flash.
I've heard that movie, but I've never seen it.
On my server, it is one that I would recommend. It's still a B movie.
The amount of like random shows that I'll go to be like, I kind of want to watch this. I'll go to look it up on the server and it's not there.
Well, you tell me what you want, I'll get it there. Damn it.
Do you have Tour of Duty?
No.
Damn.
I saw you recently put Jarhead up on there, so I had to give that a rewatch.
Is Jarhead...
If you put Tour of Duty on there, that'd be cool.
What's Tour of Duty? A war movie?
No, it's a TV series that was made during the mid to late 80s, set in Vietnam. Pretty damn realistic.
Let's see if I can find it.
Ooh,
Duty.
one good show. I don't think it's on the server, but if you guys have Prime, that I would recommend, it is The Terminal List. It's based off the book of the same name by Jack Carr, who was a Navy SEAL.
What's it
The
about?
Terminal List?
Yes.
What is the aforementioned, or what is the terminal list in question?
So basically, him and his him and his team, they were given they were just told, here's another round of immunizations, but it was an experimental drug that ended up giving all of them like a it was basically found that one of the like most common things that it did was induce like brain cancer, and in order to cover it up, they basically killed a lot of his guys, and him basically finding out, oh hey, so we got fucked over, and so they go through, try to kill his they kill his family, fail to kill him, and he's just like, it's one of those like revenge movies of like, I've been fucked over, I'm going to get you back.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so that will go on the server tomorrow.
Yeah, it's kind of like there was a movie that came out, it was, I don't think it was by him. It was it's a movie that recently came out on Prime as well. It's oh my god. It stars Michael B. Jordan. It's based on a Tom Clancy novel. It's kind of a similar premise where like
Jack Reacher?
no, not Jack Reacher. It's in the same universe as Jack Reacher. No, not Jack Reacher. It's in the same universe as oh my gosh.
Rainbow Six?
No, the dude that becomes he becomes president.
Don't know about that one.
There was a show. Okay, so the movie I'm thinking of, it's came out in 21. Without Remorse.
Don't know that one.
It is
Gotcha.
in the same universe as what? It's the same universe as Tom Clancy. Yeah, they made a movie of it, but it has the guy from the Office in it.
Interesting.
Which guy from The Office?
Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. Okay, so the same universe as Hunt for Red October.
Yes. It has oh, what's his name? He's in the Quiet Place. John Krasinski. That one's also really good. But that's like more CIA spy movie. I mean, that's a show, but obviously because it's Jack Ryan.
Right.
Okay, so it is now 6:56, which means it is time for us to sign out with the audience. Let's go ahead and do our outros. I will go ahead and start with our friend from Serbia, from the former Soviet state of Serbia, Molly. Please say goodnight, Molly.
Goodnight, Molly. Also shining in focus.
And then we will go ahead and move on to our resident redneck from the south, Stoner. Please say goodnight, Stoner.
Nighty night, y'all.
And then our co-host that doesn't exist because neither does her state, Luna. Please say goodnight, Luna.
Good night, Luna.
And then, of course, we will finish off with our resident Kanukistani from the Soviet state of Kanukistan, the country that needs to be invaded and brought to its knees. Dale, please say goodnight, Dale.
I endorse your idea. Everyone, have a good night, and hope to see you next time.
And so we are out, and I am going to go ahead and play the music for everyone. I hope everyone has a good night. We will see you all next week.